2024 OCC champion Eli Hemming in the building. Congratulations, buddy. We all knew you could do it. You sealed the deal today. How are you feeling?
I was starting to question it there for a second, actually.
Yeah, we all were. Oh my God, I cannot.
I feel terrible right now, though.
Yeah. Well, whatever. I mean, feel terrible for a temporary time period and live as an OCC champion in perpetuity. Unbelievable performance today. I cannot wait to talk all about it. Before we get to the race itself, I'm sure everybody dreams of winning a race here at UTMB race week. And I'm personally curious what it looks like immediately afterwards. Do you have to go into doping control? Do you have to go to a press conference? What happened immediately after breaking the tape?
Immediately after, it was doping control. And it was kind of funny because we went into the school that's right on the other side of the expo, and they didn't have the Wi-Fi password, and there's no phone service in there. So they didn't have Wi-Fi or phone service, and you need all of those things so that they can actually go through with the doping control. And then they're like, I'm sorry, we're just going to have you sit here for a while. And it's like, it wasn't their fault. It was just like, they just didn't have the Wi-Fi password. So I ended up sitting there for about 2 hours.
This is a story of our lives here as we struggle for the Wi-Fi connectivity and even cell phone coverage around here. So, absolutely. We struggle with the same things too, Eli. And I have to say, before we get to it, you won the race. I picked you to win the race, and I finished 7th in fantasy today. So we're both celebrating huge achievements today. Eli and Dylan Bowman pretty much both having equivalently successful days today. Okay, the race. Take us just from the start to Trient first. So for those of us who are watching online, Christian Allen hot off the front, definitely gassing it. And then it seemed like there was a small chase pack of you, Remy, Benjamin Rubiel. Just take us through the start to Trient. What was the dynamic like?
Yeah, pretty much right away, Christian Allen went flying off the front. And it was kind of funny. Like Francesco Puppi was talking to me before the race of like, what do you think is going to happen? And I'm like, Christian Allen's going to go out really hard. He's too fast for his own good. I just knew that road section. It was like, oh, he's gone. There's no way. He took off. I threw out a little jab at Puppi. I was like, hey, told you so. No, it was honestly, we kind of just found ourselves climbing together with Remy, and I didn't actually know the other guy there.
So that's Benjamin Rubiel, who won the Long Trail World Championship last year, French kid.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Young up and coming guy. He finished 11th.
Okay.
Yeah.
He is a phenomenal downhill runner. Yeah. We had like one little downhill section, and he like gapped us all. We're like, oh yeah, he's a very good downhill runner. Wow. But we kind of just ran in that pack up at Champay Lock. Remy asked me, do we need to worry about this?
Meaning Christian?
Meaning Christian Allen, yeah. Because he had, I think he had like a minute or so on us at that point. And I was like, right now I'm not worried. But if he has that at Col de Balme, then yes, absolutely, we need to worry. So we kind of just held steady. We let him, Benjamin run down the hill first, and we caught up quite a bit. And we kind of came into Trient like just me and Remy together. And
did you know the climb to Col de Balme would be the crux?
I was thinking that would be.
But you had never seen it.
I had seen it.
Oh, you had seen it?
Yeah, we went and did a little course preview. So we got here last Tuesday. So we had enough time to see that and La Flégère.
Because by the time I saw you, and we're going to play a clip of it here in a second, my thought was, okay, Eli waited till the Col de Balme climb, and then you just time trialed it effectively.
If I'm being completely honest, I got a little excited that like Remy was on the rivets a little bit on the uphill. I've never seen him on the rivets on the uphill, so I got like a little excited. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna push it. And the reason I had a tough La Flégère was because of that.
Okay, so before we get to that, Tony, if you can play that clip that we got of Eli. So talk us through this climb, because this ultimately was the crux. Obviously, we'll talk about what happened before, but at Trient, the gap between you and Remy to Christian in the lead was like 2 or 2.5 minutes.
Yep.
By the time you got to Col de Balme, it was 6.5 minutes, which means you basically ran that climb 8 minutes faster than anybody, which is absolutely ridiculous as we watch you almost cresting the top here on our screen, and you looked so freaking strong. So what was going through your mind here? Like, was it just, I'm actually putting the pressure on Remy, it's time to break him and establish myself at the front?
Honestly, that's kind of what it started out as. And then I saw that I had daylight between for everybody. And I was like, okay, well, I feel good right now. Let's get to the top of the hill as quickly as possible, as efficiently as possible. And I mean, that's kind of what we got.
So then at Argentière, it's 9 minutes. So you continued to be on the gas pedal. Remy drops out. Maybe first, before we get to that, actually, when you guys passed Christian, did you just fly past him? Like, was it clear that he wasn't going to be a factor for the rest of the day?
He was feeling it pretty bad by that time. Kind of came up to him like, hey, big boy, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm all right.
Okay, so Argentière, that's probably where things started to not feel so comfortable.
Yeah. Honestly, I felt fine running through Argentière, but as soon as I got on the climb, that's when it just like all started unraveling. Like I was just getting so warm. It was so hot.
Yeah. So we took the gondola down from Le Balme. And of course, like I said, I had the premonition of like, oh, he's got this in the bag. It's over. Like he's going to win by 15 minutes. And we're in the gondola car, and Luke Webster, another photographer in the space, is getting a text from somebody who's down near Argentière. Mm-hmm. He's like, Remy's stopped on the trail. He said he's sitting down, head between his knees, and we're all like, no. So I think this was happening live on the live stream. You said you never sat down, but take us into this moment of vulnerability. What was going through your head? I mean, I'm sure you had doubts.
Oh, absolutely. I wasn't even just like worried about like my placement. I was like, I don't know if I can get to the top of this hill. I was feeling absolutely terrible. Like the walls were closing in on me. I was completely overheated. I was like, wow, I thought I'd pace that much better. Apparently I was a little bit too aggressive on Col de Balme. It was kind of one of those things. I actually really appreciated the videographer that was running with me. He was yelling at me like, you're doing okay. You're doing okay. You have 10 minutes. Like you're doing all right. Take some water, take some gel. And he was just telling me to keep moving. Were you able to turn it around, or was it pure survival the rest of the way? Because when we saw you in the streets of Chamonix, you looked horrible. Oh, I felt horrible. Yeah, no, there was no turning that around. I was to that point that I just needed to get to the finish line as quickly as possible. And hopefully I was far enough ahead to keep the win. At the top of the Fougère, you can see pretty far behind you. Did you have any sense that the gap was closing, or were you receiving information to that effect? I was moving so slowly up La Fougère. I knew it was closing. Somebody on the start of the climb, they said at Argentière you had 10 minutes. It's like, okay, if I have 10 minutes, I can move pretty slowly up this climb, and I can get over the top and see if I can run downhill. And so I was just kind of trying to do the death walk up the hill. There was no running at that point. It was it was a lot of walking and a couple quick stops, take a breath, and like, okay, let's just get up there. I just need some cold water, need something. Okay, so you take in the final 10K descent into a hero's welcome in downtown Chamonix. Take us into that moment. I mean, this is a career-defining achievement for you. Effectively, the world champion at 50K. That's kind of cool to think about. Yeah. Honestly, like I didn't think, like even running through the streets, I felt like I was moving just absolutely nowhere. And I didn't accept that I was going to win the race until I had turned at the statue, like headed straight into the finish. I was like, if I don't keep the gas on, I don't know how close they are, but I know they're running downhill faster than me. I know they're moving way faster on the uphill. Yeah. And so like, I knew I had these guys behind me that can run down a hill pretty dang quick. So like I wasn't accepting that I was winning until the very end there. Yeah. So Francesco Puppi was second. Antonio was third. They finished second and third last year too. Did you guys have any interesting interactions at the finish line? I'm sure there was a lot of mutual respect. Yeah, I mean, even it was kind of funny. And we were sitting in doping control waiting for the Wi-Fi to hit. And we were just asking Antonio, dude, how do you never miss here?
Yeah.
You never miss.
That's his third podium?
Yeah. If he's here, he's going to podium.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
See, that's why I'm 7th in fantasy, Dude, congratulations. Absolutely unbelievable. I just want to recap what you've done this season for our audience. Black Canyon 60K champion, Big Alta 50K champion, Canyons 50K champion, which is the North American major at 50K. Also the Desert Rats 21K champion. You were 5th at the Broken Arrow vertical kilometer, 2nd at the Broken Arrow 23K, and now the champion here at OCC. I'll say it myself so you don't have to. Early front runner for Trail Runner of the Year so far. Unbelievable season. Anything you want to say about like how things are going for you right now and like what's put you in such a strong position here in 2024?
I mean, honestly, just getting to know the sport a little bit better. I mean, it took that little bit of time learning. And I think this was just a demonstration that the training's been working. We're pretty stoked with what we've been doing. We felt like it was working. We felt like we were really fit. We just kind of needed a race to prove that. So we're just super happy that it was a good day.
Your wife Tabor is here with us. Tabor was in the fight. So freaking close today. Unfortunately, a tough fall. Any words you want to share about Tabor's run with the audience? Or
she is very upset that she dropped out at Argentière, but she had an awesome day. And like, honestly, the highlight of my day was seeing you on Col de Balme and you're like, Tabor's winning right now. I'm like, what? Yes. Like, the thing is, like, I was coming in planning like, oh yeah, Tabor's probably going to win this race because I get to see her train every day. I'm like, so fit right now. And like the training is obviously just working so well. And I think that was the demonstration to the world that Tabor's here to play.
Tabor's going to have her day on this course. And the same thing happened when she came up to the top of Col de Balme. I think you were in 4th at that point. And I was like, Eli is in the lead with 6.5 minutes. You are right there. Like, I hope that puts wind in your sails. It didn't work for Tabor this time. But look, I got goosebumps here too, guys. Unbelievable stuff. And we're so proud of both of you. A champion and Tabor, you were so freaking close. And, representing the USA well. Unabashed American bias here, as always, on the Freetrail platform. We have another special guest who's going to join us here for a fun little anecdote from the race story. Mr. Ryan Thrower takes the couch here. So Tony's going to share a sequence of photos here, and Ryan's going to walk us through it before we let the champion go today.
Okay, so I snapped these few photos as you were coming to the top of Col de Balme, and I want you to walk us through what's going on here.
All right. This is just going into the aid station there, like just towards the top. Yep.
Beautiful mountains in the background.
Absolutely stunning mountains in the back. Almost
you can
tripping.
Start flicking through them here, Tony.
Yeah.
Almost tripping just because of how beautiful the mountains are.
Yep.
And I get a little bit further, and all of a sudden, this guy, this race official acted like he's hot stuff here as the leader comes into the aid station. He stopped me, and I thought he was like checking my kit or something. I'm like, I don't know what you want to see here. He's speaking in French. I don't speak any French. My French is absolutely awful. And so he's like yelling at me in French. I'm like, I don't know what you want. So I started like taking things out of my pack. Like I grabbed the GPS for him. Like, do you want this? Like, is this what you want? And then he stole a sensor off of my back. Adidas was doing some like scientific research. And so we have just like this little tiny sensor on the back.
Was it under the auspices of checking mandatory equipment? Because evidently he didn't do that to anybody else.
He didn't say anyone else. I had words for him afterwards too.
I appreciate you.
I mean, it was like, I was like sweating because it was like at least like
an awkwardly long wait.
Just standing there like, what do you want from me? Like you kept taking stuff out.
Yeah. I didn't know, like he was speaking French and he was just like yelling at things at me in French. I'm like, dude, if you say one word in English, I can probably figure out what you want. But
eventually he let you go.
This iconic photo now.
Yeah.
The one of
the shrug, the shrug emoji of like, what do you want from me, buddy?
What do you want?
Anyway, we'll make sure to share these photos for those who just listen to the audio, so you can get a fun laugh out of a race official trying to slow down our great American champion, Mr. Eli Hemming. Maybe final question before we let you go is, what do you have going on this weekend? Are you going to be out at CCC watching UTMB?
Yeah, got lots of teammates racing.
Yeah.
So trying to recover a bit. I'm going to be at the Adidas store from 10 to 10:30 tomorrow. They're like, okay, now that you're winning something, you got to be showing up being famous. Like, I don't think I'm very famous, guys. I don't know if this is what you want, but I'll be there.
All right. So to our viewers and listeners who are here in the Chamonix Valley from 10 to 10:30 at the Adidas Terex, it's like their pop-up store, like right in town. Okay, awesome. Well, awesome. What a great opportunity to go interact with the champion. Eli, congratulations again. 2024 OCC champion, having the season of a lifetime right now. I hope you can keep the momentum going, though I'm not going to ask you what you're doing next. I'm sure we'll see you very, very soon. Congrats, buddy.
Yeah, we're still not sure. I got to recover first.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you very much.
Yep.